So, David Gadry, we're
What's
here,
going
my
on?
friend. Are you excited?
I am. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course, dude, of course. So, what'd you do today? Well, what did your day consist of?
I got up, went and took a test. I feel like that probably went pretty well. And then I had another class. It was an off day for the gym, so kind of relaxed. I ended up
Lucky.
going down for a little, just go on the treadmill and stretch. But
Attaboy.
then I went and ate dinner. Now I'm here.
Attaboy. So now we're here. This is the most important part of your day, even including that test. You could have got a 0 on the test. As long as this happened,
It was gonna be okay.
everything's going to be okay. And so we talked about it before. We said like some things we wanted to talk about. So I have yet to release Quentin's episode, and that'll give me a good idea of how I want the segment idea to go. But with you, you definitely seem like you wanted to have a little more like free-flowing and fluid conversation,
bit.
which is what I'm good at. It's what I've been doing the whole time, pretty much. But definitely, you did have some things like you definitely wanted to hit at some point, like that perfect life idea. We'll get to that. The like some sports stuff. We'll get to that. And just in general, just covering like some deep concepts as well. Did you look at the list of them by any chance?
I did. I don't remember what
Yeah.
the topics were for
Yeah,
it.
I'll get
I
you there.
figured you'd probably know.
Oh, I got them all.
Take the
I got
lead
them
with
all.
it
I
a
just
little
want to
bit.
know if you had like a preference or something. But I'll bring something up. Don't you worry. But yeah. So first, I just want to talk about you, David Gadry. Who are you? What do you do? If you were to describe yourself, how would you say?
I'd say I'm a pretty honest person.
Extremely.
I like to kind of call it how I see it. I'm not into the whole sugarcoating thing. Like I'd rather have somebody tell me like being honest with me, telling me something that maybe I don't like to hear it, but like I understand that like it's the truth. Like it'll benefit me more than if they told me some crap that
Yeah.
wasn't even true. I'm usually pretty confident for the most part.
You are.
I like to help people out. I like to talk to people, meet new people.
You do.
I like to have like a mix of like, having fun, but also, grinding,
Getting everything done.
Yeah.
I think you got a good gauge of who everyone thinks you are, David. I didn't think because that's ways I'd perceive you, definitely. Even just like because some people look at the first thing you said like I like to tell it how it is, like to be told how it is. Some people think of that as a negative.
Yeah. Like,
But you're very aware of that.
yeah, I feel like, and sometimes maybe if I'm talking to one of my friends and, maybe they do something that like I see that wasn't the best thing for them to do, like I'll tell them. And like I know they might take it the wrong way, so I'll kind of let them know, be like, hey, look, like I'm telling you this like for your best interest. I'm not trying to bash you at all.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Because honestly, I feel like the people you're closest with are usually the ones you're able to say stuff like that to. But
Yeah.
I think definitely for you, you definitely have like a wider range of those types of people. Like you'll say that to mostly anybody that like on some type of level. You'll say like if someone's doing something wrong or if like you think that they're maybe making a mistake, you don't mind saying that.
Yeah,
You don't
for
mind
sure.
telling people what's going on, which
Yeah.
is funny. It causes for some good laughs, honestly. But yeah, some people, and you have a good gauge of like how you are as a person, which is pretty cool. I feel like a lot of people will struggle with that. It's good that you have that. But all right, so also when it comes to school, what are you studying? What's going on? You're a senior now,
Yeah,
right?
I'm a senior criminal justice major. I concentrate in homeland security.
Wow.
When I graduate this spring, I'm looking to either go into policing or something within homeland security. I'm taking the police civil service exam in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
I took a test for TSA back in February. If I were to work for TSA, that'd be more of like a stepping stone to something bigger, because I've always thought about working in an airport.
Oh, really?
So-
Why?
I went on a lot of family vacations growing up, and I just, like, every single time I was there, I just loved the atmosphere. Like, I just feel like it had a certain energy to it that
People
like,
are going places. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
like it's kind of up tempo. Like, you got the airplanes. Like,
It's cool.
where are you traveling to? Like, it's different stuff, and it just had a certain energy that I feel like like I could just feel it.
That's really cool. This is the type of stuff, David. This is why I do this, because you talk to people and you have a good sense of self, so it's a little easier to get out of you. But people are interested in the like most random things. Like you're interested in working in an airport. not a lot of people think that way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I don't think I've met anybody else that's wanted to do that. I heard someone in my class this semester, like I don't know her, but during intros, she mentioned something that might have been kind of like the airport direction.
yeah. But it's interesting because like everyone's like that. Everyone has like a thing, even if they don't know it yet, like their own individual interests, and like even you, it will get more specific as you get into that field. Like as you're in, like, once you're in there, you'll be like, all right, I kind of like this part of it though. I'll go over here. I want to make sure everything's like going smoothly over here or over there, and it ends up becoming like such a small specific job and such a small specific thing that not everyone really thinks about. Even people think of airports as pretty like mundane maybe, but your perspective on it kind of just opened my eyes a little bit, because that's what it is people are going on, like, some people are going on business trips, they go every week, but other people are making like really big life moves. It's very like emotional place. There's a lot of like stuff going on. It's not like a fucking plain old airport. It's like really cool in there.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Like
I
you
never
said,
thought of that.
you got some people there, they might be fired up, or maybe they're in a rush because they might miss their flight. Like I know last year, I went to Florida, and on our return flight, we barely made our flight back, which
Really?
like to me, like I didn't have work the next day, so it wasn't a big deal. I wouldn't have minded staying in Florida another night.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, we got on it, so
What
it worked out.
what else? Where else have you been? Said you went on
Um,
some vacations when you were a kid?
Yeah, a lot of times we went to Florida, but I've also been to Washington, D.C. a few times. I've been to Canada, like the Niagara Falls area and Toronto
Nice.
area. I went to Mexico as a baby, so I don't really have like a memory of that.
You want to go back? You want to give it an actual real look, you know?
I've never thought of it. I have a lot of other places I've thought of that like I would definitely want to go to. I've been to Myrtle Beach, Virginia Beach.
You been to Myrtle Beach? You play on the golf course?
I didn't play
Any of the golf
there.
courses at all?
I didn't play golf yet back then, but
You just started with that.
yeah, 2 years ago. This past summer was my second season, so
I love golf.
me
I
too.
love golf. What is it about golf, dude? What is it?
It's funny you ask, because I was talking to my dad and I think my uncle about this a
They
few
golf?
months back. Yeah, they love golf too.
So mine.
There's just so many aspects to it. Like I grew up playing other sports like football and baseball, and it's like, you could talk about those along with other things like basketball and hockey. They all are similar in a way, where there's this consistency. Like, yeah, you might not, like if we're talking basketball, you might be shooting good one night and the next night you're not.
Yeah.
But like just overall, and I feel like people who haven't golfed may not understand this, there's a consistency to it. But then when you go play golf, you might play good today, best round you ever play maybe, and then tomorrow you might have one of the worst rounds.
It's
and
very true.
It could get very frustrating, but it keeps you coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so many dimensions to the game. You got to take into account, the wind and which direction it's blowing, the temperature outside, and whether the shot's going to be an uphill or downhill shot. Like it's not like other sports where you just do things. Like you have to think before you do, and like
Yeah.
I like to. It just feels good thinking. It's like you're strategizing what you want to do.
Yeah, it's one of the few sports, if any. I'm trying to think of other ones while you were talking. Like, I feel like you're playing yourself. You're playing the course.
For sure.
It's like you're playing nature and you. And whereas people think like, oh, it's just because it's a solo sport. Think about other solo sports. It's not like that. It's not like that in tennis. It's not like that in. I'm trying to think of other solo sports. I have no idea. I can't even listen, but it doesn't matter. Like, this, you're literally playing the environment, you're playing the wind, you're playing your lie, you're playing all that, and you're playing against your last game.
Yeah.
You're rarely, I played in high school, so I actually did play against other people. Even then, I did not care. I needed to do as best as I could, and there is nothing someone else can do to infringe upon your game. So, you really are out there playing against yourself, and it's crazy because. You might think you have really good mental control, and you might think you can be stable. I promise you, you get on the fucking golf course,
Yeah,
you
tough.
play a couple weeks of golf, I guarantee you don't got half the control you think you do.
Yeah, my first year playing, I feel like, I wouldn't say I was a good golfer my first year, but like,
You're an athlete, so.
yeah, from hearing other people who have played the game long enough that maybe played with me, they would say, you're good for someone who's in their first year. And I remember there was one point in the season where I was just I was doing so bad. It was just something with my swing that I was doing wrong, and I couldn't hit the ball straight at all, and it was so frustrating. And it
Yeah.
was honestly, it stressed me out. Um, but like the way I am when it comes to new things, like if I enjoy it at least a little bit, even if I suck at it at first, I just keep coming back until like I'm at least decent. Um, I'm very persistent when it comes to things like sports and
Yeah.
different things like that. Like with pool, I shoot pool with my uncle sometimes,
Do you?
and it was the same thing with that. I was bad at first, and then
It's hard.
now I'm a pretty good player.
I'm terrible at pool, but like golf teaches you that in a lot of ways. That's another thing that I know. Like, there's a bunch of benefits to it. You can play it your whole life. It is expensive. But you
Yeah,
can
it
play it
can
your whole
be.
life, and you can play at like 80 years old. My grandfather was 93 years
Yeah,
old
my grandfather
playing
played
golf.
into his 90s as well.
Like, that's not. There's no other sport. You know what I mean? There's no other sport where you can move, but it takes some real physical action, but you can still play when you're 90. It's not a lot. I don't think there's any other sport.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And also, you have to have that consistent mindset, and it really did teach me something about myself because I had times like that, and even everyone still does. If you're not like a pro golfer, really really good, you have these times where you just you get up at the driver's box, slice right, or you hook left, and you're just like every time, and it makes me realize that I know I can do otherwise. I know for a fact I've gone on weeks where I only hit it straight off the drive. So it really is it's mental. It's all in my head because
Yeah,
I
it's
have done
definitely
it
a
before.
big part of it.
So that I take that and I try to transfer it to other things in life. Like say you're not doing too good in the class or whatever, and whatever the scenario is, not doing too good in it. You got to realize it's all up here. You can literally do whatever.
Yeah, you can turn it around.
It's crazy. And I literally learned that. I think that's a massive life lesson. It's huge to learn. You understand that. Like, you can really turn it around. That's a good way to put it. But I learned that all through a game of golf.
Yeah, I feel like a good way to look at it is like, even on your worst days, don't don't be like scared away by it. Come back the next day because like, you can turn it around for sure. You might have that shitty day and the next day is the best day. Like,
Yeah.
but if you don't come back, you'll never know.
Yeah, and
So-
in my family, I'm not even an avid golfer. I golf probably once a week, maybe sometime. Or, there's some days I'll go 3 times in a week, and then I'll go like 2 weeks without it. And like, when I can, the summer and stuff. My cousin, he's playing D1 at URI. Shout out Aiden. Nasty, disgusting, and he was at the course 10 hours a day every day. And so I wonder for someone like that, like what kind of perspective, like what they learn, if they can take it out of golf. Some people like really, everything's like its own discipline. For me, whatever I learn in one thing, it moves to everything else in my life. So I just wonder, like, even with me, where I honestly have pretty not minimal, but like low levels of experience, like I take so much out of it. I wonder what someone that like really loves the game and plays all the time gets out of it. How often are you gonna plan to play this summer? We're going, by the way.
For sure.
We're going, by the way.
For sure.
No question. Me, you, and Big D's.
Well, it all depends, honestly, this summer a lot with, like, working because, like I said, I'm graduating. So, depends. Like, I'll be working full-time. And, like, with my major, I may be working a shift, like, second or third shift. So it's, like, I'll have to kind of adjust to that and figure it out. I'd like to play as much as I can.
Oh, yeah.
Just like the past 2 summers. I just love being out there, whether it's I play most of the time with my dad.
I was just
so
gonna
that's
say
cool.
that. Like, is it like that's really, aside from everything I've said up to this point, if it was just like that time with my dad, like there's nothing better than that, really.
Yeah, it's cool because like growing up, like I didn't play golf obviously, and he would go play all the time by himself. If he couldn't go with like his dad while he was alive or his brothers. So like I know I've heard him say it like it means a lot to him to go out there and play with his son too.
Oh yeah.
And just to like see me like get better with it because like
Yeah.
I definitely made like I'd say decent sized leaps my second year compared to my first year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to play as much as I can for sure.
Yeah, I definitely I got a love for golf. I didn't have it for a long time. I was not forced. I'm not saying I was forced. Sorry, Dad. He's gonna watch this. He's gonna be upset I said that. But I just you grow up. It's kind of like growing up in a family that everyone does something. Like everyone in my family plays golf pretty much. So I had to be out there at least sometimes. I needed a pair of clubs. I needed stuff. I needed to be ready to go any week. And I never loved it. I played all 4 years of high school. Still never loved it. It's crazy how much I played without really liking it. And then, like, as soon as I got out of high school, as soon as I started, like, getting a little older, And maybe going out and playing 2 hours of basketball almost sound a little unappealing sometimes because you get tired.
Yeah.
Now I want to go play 18 instead.
I mean, you could get tired playing 18 too.
18 is sometimes you get more tired.
I
Especially
remember when I first started playing
the way
golf,
I play.
I mean, I was exhausted after. I had to get used to swinging the
going
club
this
all the
way
time.
too. If you suck, like
Yeah.
like your boy, like shooting, not suck, but like if you're an average golfer, you're probably shooting 90, not to 100 if you're average. If you're shooting like 100 shots, two practice swings before, that's 300 swings.
Yeah.
And then you're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth from the woods and out, and then you get into bunkers and you're raking. Like, it's mentally, you're tired. You don't want to deal with at 18th hole.
That's definitely a big part of it, because, like, I mean, if you play good mentally, it won't take as much of a toll on you. But, like,
and physically,
if you have a
it's
bad
both.
round, and I feel like mentally, if you're tired mentally, you're gonna feel it more sometimes than if you're
It's like
tired.
a snowball.
Yeah.
It compounds. But I love golf. And when you were telling me, I didn't know you ever played, but I saw it on your Snapchat like a couple months ago when you were playing over in fall. You got a beautiful swing there, pal. Let me just say that to you. You got a beautiful swing. So it'll come around for sure because you don't rush, which is like my biggest problem. I like to just fucking hack at it. But you'll definitely be a good golfer very soon. Like, probably this season you're gonna see some big changes.
I mean, I've like I said, I feel like I had some good leaps the second year. Like I played well this year, but like I definitely want to improve this upcoming year and improve as even more.
Yeah. So you said when we were talking about the planes too, I didn't want to forget this because you said that there's some places that you want to visit.
Yeah.
I want to talk about some places that you want to go. Where would be if you had to rank like 3?
I would say Hawaii, maybe the Bahamas, Bermuda.
Oh, so you like the tropical,
tropics for sure.
You like the palm trees.
Yeah, I do.
Women.
I mean, yeah, but.
Or the men, whatever. I don't know, David. I don't know. But I'm not much of a sun guy. But why do you want to go? Like, is there any reason, or just you just want to go somewhere tropical?
I just like the tropical vibes.
Yeah.
Palm trees.
Yeah, pool, ocean.
Yeah.
Nice clear water.
Warm weather.
Yeah.
It just feels different.
So you like the warm weather? You're not big on the cold? It's cold down here right now.
Yeah,
no joke.
I'm not a big fan of the cold. Growing up, like in the snow, like it was fun, go sledding, do other things. But now I'm older, I don't play in the snow. So it's kind of like, I just shovel it. It's like this isn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
And driving, it might be icy. You got to watch out for that too.
Yep.
So it definitely changed.
Yeah, so I was like just wondering, like we said you were gonna do, what would be your perfect life then? Let's start with that.
Perfect life for me?
What is we'll start with where you're living. In the perfect scenario, say like, you don't have to worry about other people. That's what I mean by perfect. Like you don't have to worry about like how close you are to family or whatever. Like you can just be somewhere. Where would you be?
Like a geographical location, you mean?
Geographical location,
right,
and then type of like how we'll go geographical location first, and we'll go next.
I'm thinking of it like not as a vacation.
No, you gotta live.
I'm thinking somewhere maybe in Florida. I've only been to Daytona, Orlando, and like the Tampa area. So obviously it's a big state. There's plenty of other places. But just a nice community.
You want to be like in like with people like near you. You don't want to just have like your own open space.
I mean, a little bit. I feel like a lot of places I've seen in Florida, the houses are pretty close.
Yeah, they are.
It would definitely be nice to live. Maybe have my backyard be a golf course. Get out there for free, save a lot of money.
He wants the golf course in the backyard.
Yeah. Maybe a few dogs.
Dogs. Do you have a dog?
I have 2 dogs. Yeah.
They cute?
Yeah, they're cute. They're pretty energetic though, because they're only about 2 years old.
So. Oh, they're little puppies. Oh, that's cute.
I mean, they're not puppies. One of them's big.
Oh, they're big.
The other one, she's like mid-sized, about maybe 40 pounds.
Oh wow.
But yeah, they're good dogs.
Better than Liana's dog.
I've never met her dog.
You've never met that dog? Has Andrew ever told you about this dog?
No. What kind of dog is it?
No idea. It's like the one that like people make fun of on like TikTok that like the girl, she has this dog and she's complaining to me. You ever seen that?
I don't think
They've got
so.
the crusty eyes. You know what I'm saying?
Is it a Chihuahua?
No, it's small though. But it like it's fine honestly, but it hates Andrew.
Really?
Like It's weird. I think Andrew might look like something that like beat it when he was like a child
Maybe.
because it like it's kind of strange or smells like him or something. But I don't know. I'm not much of a dog guy. But you'd want two dogs like when you get
Yeah,
older
maybe
too.
two dogs. Have a nice gym nearby.
What are you doing? Are you working at an airport in that ideal life, or since it's ideal
Ideal
now you're doing
life.
something else?
No, I wouldn't be working in an airport.
What would
Ideal
you be
life, I
doing?
feel like for me, because I've always loved sports so much, I'd be working, doing something with sports.
Mm,
Obviously being a professional athlete would be like, like a dream.
yeah,
Um,
it's a little
but
too perfect.
yeah, maybe doing something, maybe, like a sports network. Like I know
Ah,
ESPN is like, based off up northeast, but you know, there's obviously sports networks down there too. Work for one
yeah,
of those.
yeah.
Just talk about sports all day. I feel like that'd be great.
Yeah, I love sports, dude. I love sports. Speaking of sports, what you been watching a lot this year? What seasons you been really getting into?
I mainly just watch football, honestly. I don't really watch hockey or basketball. Even baseball, I love baseball, but like I don't see myself watching it on TV too much.
You heard what's going on with baseball?
Yeah, a little bit, a
They're
little bit.
canceled the first two series of the
Yeah,
season.
I did hear that.
That's not good for anybody. Even if you don't love baseball, like you don't want to see games getting canceled,
No.
especially because like the MLBP, like the Players Association and like the league. Like I don't like seeing the players and like the owners not on the same page. Like I don't know. I feel like that's just bad for the sport.
Yeah,
One of
a
the
little bit.
players tweeted out. He said, "Fire Rob Manfred, who's like the head of all baseball," and he just tweets out "Fire Rob," and like he's one of your superstars of your league. It's like if LeBron James said something about like Adam Silver, like fire him. Like that's like fucking weird. Like you don't want to see that.
Yeah, that could just cause some more problems.
Yeah. So, but yeah, but you're big on the football. Obviously, you played
Yeah,
football in
big
high
on
school and all
football.
that.
Part of it could be, I do fantasy football for fun. So,
Oh yeah.
I'm sure that has part of it. But like, even if I wasn't doing it, I still enjoy watching it.
Yeah, fantasy just and I never was big on fantasy till like 3 years ago maybe, and then I finally got into it, and it just makes every other game other than the Patriots so much more interesting.
Yeah, for
Even
sure.
if it's not someone on your team, like or that you're playing against, you just want to see. I wonder how he's gonna do fantasy wise. Everything computes instantly to fantasy points. I see
Yeah.
a reception for 7 yards. I see 1.7 points.
It's almost weird when I watch a game and like I don't have a player in it and I'm like, okay, I can just watch this game and just hope for a good game, like
Yeah,
just to
like
enjoy it.
yeah, like it feels wrong. Like that's what happens after the season ends, the fantasy season ends. And then you get to like week 17, 18 and then the playoffs and
Yeah.
you're like
I mean,
you're almost like
playoffs is different though. Like I love playoffs for all sports, honestly.
talk
Like
about the playoffs this year for the NFL. That was the best playoffs I've ever seen.
yeah, it was definitely up there.
Yeah,
Could-
for the
probably
NFL at least.
Yeah, probably the best I've seen that I can remember.
Yeah, I like playoff baseball a lot. I don't
Me
know
too.
why.
I think it's very underrated.
It's fun.
Yeah, because it's like, you can't run the clock out in baseball. I feel like that's something that's pretty special about the sport. Is like you
Very
got to
true.
throw that pitch and like give the batter a chance.
Yeah, that's a
down
good
to that
point.
final out.
There's
So
always
it
a
just makes it
chance.
exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not playing against the clock. That's so true. I never thought about that. I always liked that with have you seen the way that the NBA has done the All-Star game these past like 3 years? They changed it up a little bit.
Refresh my memory.
So they play quarter by quarter. And so if you win the first quarter, you win your team's charity wins 100,000.
Yeah,
And
I
then at the
remember now.
fourth quarter, they take the highest of the two scores. They add 24. Rest in peace, Kobe. And then that's the new target score. And whichever team reaches that gets like $1 million to their charity or whatever. So I think basketball with the target score, it makes these guys play. These all-stars in an all-star game weekend where a lot of them it's like a vacation. It's a lot. It makes them they play. They're not it's not a mess around anymore. Like the best players are in, even if like it's a worse player but he's older and he's got more experience, they'll put him in because they trust him. It's like legit. It's pretty funny because it hasn't been like that in so long in the NBA All-Star game. So I think adding an element, I guess that's probably why. It's because it's not a clock anymore. It's because there's a goal and you have to reach it. And in baseball, it's even more because even if they do reach like a goal, like say like you score 7 runs, you probably should win that game. Still ain't over.
Yeah.
I
I mean, a few walks, maybe an error, bases loaded. Guy hits a home run, it's 4 runs right there.
All of a sudden it's 3-run game, and that could change it. After you get a couple guys on the bags, that could change the swing of the bat And it's just playoff baseball's got that energy to it. The crowd's always into
For
it.
sure, yeah.
It's nice weather. Oh, well, not nice weather. I guess it's October, but it's good enough where you can get out there and it's outdoors. It's fun. I don't know. I really enjoy playoff
Yeah,
baseball.
me too. I mean, I love playoff football, but like a part of me thinks maybe I love playoff baseball like a little bit more. Like they're definitely around the same
I
level.
love football more, but I like playoff baseball. It's like it almost reverses for me. It's like it goes like I love basketball. I'm a big basketball guy. But the playoffs for basketball honestly like aren't much more exciting than the regular season. In the end, I feel like it's all about like the highlights. Like that's what engages the average fan is like highlight plays, dunks, and all that. So really, playoff basketball isn't too much more exciting, but it is. And then my second favorite sport is football. Probably the second most exciting in the playoffs. And then my third favorite sport is like hockey. That's the second most
Hockey
exciting
playoffs can
too.
be exciting too, yeah.
And then my least favorite sport is baseball. Most exciting playoffs.
There's just something about the crowd. I feel like the energy's different.
Especially in baseball and hockey got a lot of crossover. Maybe it's just those crowds are like really into it, and that's why.
Maybe, yeah. I don't watch hockey at all, but like I'll watch the playoffs sometimes because like it's just a different level of good.
It's buzzing.
Like they play at another level.
I've been to a playoff game. I went to the Bruins versus the Montreal Canadiens Game 7 in 2011, and we won that game. And it was the greatest sporting event I've ever been to in my life. And I went to a playoff baseball game too. I think it was against the Tigers. Shane Victorino hit like a grand slam or something, and it was the craziest thing too. But like, yeah, playoff hockey is really cool as well. I don't know. There's a difference between the playoffs and the regular season, though.
Definitely.
What do you think about like the MLB having like 162 games though?
I think it's too much. I think about that. I feel like every season, like they start in April, they go to September, and then they have playoffs in October.
Yeah.
Like, I think they should shorten it at least by a month.
You could realistically
maybe even 2 months.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just too long. So for some people, like, the attention just might not be there the whole time. Like that's the thing with football is each team will play one game a week. You know?
And they're long games, but it's once a week.
Yeah, it's just different. It's like you appreciate it more.
Yeah.
With baseball, it's like every night you're like, all right, who cares?
Every night, dude. It's every night. Like you can't even pay attention to it. I wonder. And my bigger concern is not so much my interest, is the players' interest. Like, say you're in year 10, you're like an Iron Man, you barely miss any games. You're on game 1,500 of your career, and you've only been playing for 10 years. That's more than anybody else plays in any other sport. You're there every single day. Like, how are you gonna get up? Like, if you're a 10-year vet, 32 years old, you're in June in some series when your record's like 38 and like 20, and like, how are you gonna get up for that game? What is the motivation anymore? Like when you play football, it's once a week. You only get, if you're lucky,
I feel like with
games.
football, there's more of a build up, especially from playing both of those sports growing up. Baseball, it's like, oh, we got a game today. Where football, it's like, that week of practice is just the hype gets built up, and then it's like it's Friday night, and it's just the energy.
Do baseball players practice?
Yeah, we do. Honestly, I feel like a lot of practices is just kind of screwing around.
How about like the MLB though? Like
MLB, I'm sure it's definitely more serious. But like high school and like rec ball, it's kind of like, all right, we got practice, like, it's whatever.
Here
we're
we
not
go.
gonna do much.
You got run around, then come back and we'll hit some balls and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, it could be kind of boring sometimes.
Yeah, I haven't played baseball since I was like a little kid, and I broke my nose playing baseball.
Really? How'd you do that?
I was pitching, little league. And first batter of the game, my first time pitching in the majors. Was like I was a little kid, but I was in the majors, and I was pumped. First game pitching, I'm up against the first batter, full count. I thought I had this kid dead to rights on a fastball down the pipe. I thought, no way he's catching this thing. I throw some heat. It goes right into this kid's bat. It was the perfect swing, and I look up from throwing the pitch. I look up, and there's just a fucking ball, probably this close to my face. And time froze. God tapped me on the shoulder and was like, dude, this is going to fucking hurt. And then time played, and I got smacked. I knocked out. I, like, woke up as people were, like, picking me up. And I was like, what's happening? Whole nose was like shattered.
Jesus.
It was gross. Honestly, you wouldn't know that I broke my nose because it's like
Yeah, I never have thought like, oh, did this dude break his nose? You
yeah,
can't
and you
tell.
usually can tell, but like your nose is like a pyramid, and so usually it breaks like this or like this. Mine broke like this, so it just kind of like fully smushed my face. I had two black eyes. And then it
Jesus.
just slowly grew back. It
I
was
mean, maybe the fact that you were so young, it just the recovery was like easier. Like if you were older, like if it happened now, like I doubt it would be the same.
that's also true because because I got smoked, but I went and took MCAS the next day. You know what I mean? Like it was just, it wasn't that big of a deal. I was playing again a week later. It's not when you're a little kid though, you're like fucking indestructible.
Yeah.
Like
Pretty
do you
much.
like when you go do stuff like do you like feel it the next day now?
Sometimes. Depends what it is. Like if I go play basketball for like a while, I may definitely will after. I'll feel like just I don't even know how to explain it. Just kind of like
Your body's just
dead,
like nah.
If I go, run around on the football field, if I'm not used to it, I'll feel it a little bit. But once I get used to it, I feel like I'm pretty good with it.
How about like have you been like I don't know how many occasions you're getting like hit or anything, but like have you been like hit recently or like maybe like you bump into something like kind of hard and you're like and like the next day you're like why like this still kind of hurt, not a bruise but like you're still in pain.
Um,
Has that ever
Not that
happened?
I can remember. I can remember a few things over the past few weeks where maybe I banged my arm or my knee on something, and it hurt initially for sure, but the next day,
You're
I
still
don't
good.
think so. Yeah.
Hey, good for you. Your body's good to you. I swear to God,
So
dude.
far,
I like fall.
still young.
If I like my elbows, if I like bang an elbow or something, like 3 days, I'm like in pain. I feel like a fucking 50-year-old man. Imagine like he's 38. The pain in his body.
I mean, well, he spends a lot of money on like his health and
Isn't it like $1 million a year on just his body?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was maybe last year or the year before they were talking about that and how much money he puts into his recovery.
I mean, you have to if you're 37 years old. He probably takes like 15 ice baths a day. Like he just probably lays in ice all day long, and his kids are trying to get his attention, but he's frozen. Like poor guy. I don't know. I could never play sports until to that age.
Really?
I don't think
If
I
you had the
could.
opportunity, you wouldn't?
At this point, for a long time in my life, there was nothing I wanted to do more than be a basketball player. Obviously, as every kid, I feel like. But at some point, it just kind of like the want to be a basketball player left. I love to coach now, cause I guess it's just cause I know I'm not that good. Like maybe if I was like really good, I'd still want to play like that. But once the dream became a dream and not like possible, it kind of fell away. I don't know. Does that happen to you, or you feel like you just like you still love to get out there and play?
I mean, I love, playing. I haven't played basketball in probably like a few months now.
Yeah.
I used to play all the time, at the YMCA with friends in high school. That was never something I did like, for school or anything, just football and baseball.
Yeah.
I don't really miss baseball too much, which is kind of surprising because I played it my whole life and I always enjoyed it.
Mhm.
I feel like I've just accepted that, like, okay, I don't play. Like, I'm sure I'll play, like, men's softball someday for fun.
For sure.
With my cousins or friends. And, like, so it's, like, it's not like I'll never, put my glove on again or swing a bat again.
Yeah.
I feel like golf has kind of replaced it. Like, I love golf. Like, they're both sports, but I can't even really compare them. I've tried to have that talk with, friends before where it's, like, they're just different. Like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't understand.
It's a different battle entirely.
Yeah, it's like I might be in the mood today to go run around and do something like basketball, and then, tomorrow I'm in the mood to just, play golf.
Yeah. As we said, a 90-year-old can play golf.
Yeah.
So, obviously, 90-year-olds, I don't say play sports. So, golf's not really like a sport even, but continue what you were saying. Yeah.
For football, I feel like,
You miss?
I miss football more, yeah. Like, it was just different, that whole, locker room culture and the bus rides. It was different than baseball for
Bus
sure.
rides. Yeah, it's like basketball is like the practices, the bus rides, the team, like the friends you make. That was great. Thing I miss a lot is like, like with baseball, I feel like obviously putting on a uniform and all that, it's one thing. But in basketball, it's like to have a real organized game, you need like a ref and like who's reffing games anymore. And like intramural don't feel the same. I feel like for football, I could see that being a real big issue of like you're never gonna really put on pads again.
No.
The helmet ain't going back on. You're not gonna be able to
it's different. It's
rock
still,
somebody anymore.
It's still
get
like, I remember last semester when we were doing the flag football, and it was like
throwing dimes. By the way,
it took me back to the days. I was like,
throwing
like,
dimes. You got a tight spiral, dude. That was legit. I don't even know, because this is the thing. I never played in high school, so I don't know if you're like good or not. I just am like, you're better.
Honestly, in high school, like I'm more athletic now than I was then. Like, you seen me throw in the fall semester. I didn't throw like that in high school. I mean, my arm wasn't as strong.
Dots.
And,
dots. Ridiculous dots.
Like, I feel like the system I was in wasn't maybe the best for me.
Yeah.
Like, I was under center, but naturally I'm better from shotgun.
Yeah.
Certain plays, maybe like quarterback runs that should have been in the playbook weren't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was younger back then, so like I wasn't gonna be as vocal and be like to my coach, like, hey, like, I'm capable of doing this and that, like, we should have these plays. Like, now, like 100% I would. If I could go back, I would have. But it is what it is.
Yeah, you got Big D as your wide receiver 1. Talk about that connection you had with Big D's, dude. You gotta talk about that with me real quick.
It was pretty special. For sure. I mean, some of the catches he would make, I would just be
Isn't he nasty?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like
never played.
No offense to him, but I feel like you look at him and you just wouldn't expect him to be out there making all these catches.
Yeah, like wide open.
Like he's Devontae Adams or something.
Seriously.
But he does, and you're just like, holy shit. Like, I remember there was one in the back of the end zone. Tons of defenders there. I think he ran a post route, and I got it to him, and I was just like.
Yeah, I mean, it was the back of the end zone, right?
Yeah, it took a great throw, which like I was impressed with, but like he made the catch through all the distractions of all the defenders, and I was just like, "Jeez, dude, this kid."
It's crazy he never played. Like he never played.
I didn't know that.
In his entire life, he's never played football.
He should have.
He would have been
tight end.
He would have been a great tight end. That's what I always said to him. I was like, dude, you got the body to be a tight end. You could like block somebody, but you'd probably be a receiving tight end because. Yeah. For some reason, too, even as, like, kids, like, I've always played with him, he's just open. Like, there's no reason for him to be open. He's not shifty. He's not fast. He's decently fast on the line, but, like, he's not that shifty. He's not quick enough to really get a good burst. There's no release, really. He's just open.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Like, when I first started, throwing to him, I was probably a little confused. Like, I would have never been like, yeah, he's going to be, like, the guy that I want to go to. Like, like, we'll say Patrick Mahomes, he goes to, like, Hill or Kelsey, Aaron Rodgers. He's looking for Adams in, like, certain moments. Like, I feel like he was like that sometimes where it's like, he's going to catch the ball. Like, and if he does drop it, like, you're not even going to be, frustrated probably because you're like, this dude's going to catch the next one.
Well, he made the last 1,000, so, like, what's the difference? It was so funny. And then, like, it's just funny that whole team we had was good. Like, the even the catch he made in the, what's it called, in the, like, on our second to last game to, like, win it, I think. He, like, caught it in, like, the very edge, like, and, like, was, like, falling out of bounds. And then he made a catch before that didn't count. Crazy. And then made that one and that count. I was like, bro, what?
I swear to God, that game, we were getting beat. I don't know what the score was, but... And I remember Andrew said this to me after, too. Like, we were both thinking, yeah, we're done once it was a certain score. But, like, even though I thought that I wasn't going to say it and, like, bring the vibes down, I wasn't going to stop trying. I was still trying to win. And, like, then we did, and it was, like, it felt great. Like, that comeback.
Yeah, I had an interception, fumble, whatever that was so crazy.
That was to seal it, right?
Yeah, I think that was either to seal. That might have been to seal it, or was that to set up the touchdown? Maybe
it might have been to get the ball back.
Either way, that made no sense. They needed to snap it, or else they get a flag. So as soon as I had a free snap count, so I just went. Like, as soon no one was able to get in my way yet. He wasn't even done pulling the ball back by the time I was off the line. And it just so happened to bounce off this kid's chest. He wasn't paying attention. As soon as it bounced off the chest, I caught it. It just made no sense.
I feel like that team, they had no idea what just happened.
I mean, like,
they were more stunned than we were.
Yeah, that was so funny. And it's just, like, to me, like, those moments, like, obviously, like, they're, like, in the moment, like, it's low-key, like, serious. And, like, you're, like, really want to win. I look back on it, and I'm just like, dude, it was just like intramural C-League conference championship game. Yeah, it's just so funny. It was so much fun, dude. I love intramural. We're doing one.
I think we might be doing two. I mean, we're trying to do two. We're trying to do the football again, and we're trying to do softball.
Oh yeah, softball too. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're gonna play obviously,
Yeah,
right?
I've never done the softball
Me
because when I
neither.
was here 2 years ago, that's when COVID hit, so the spring semester pretty much got canceled. I've heard it's fun though, so
Is it soft toss? Do you know?
I think
They
it's
lobbing me
probably
up.
like slow pitch softball.
I'm gonna
So
be
I'll have to
ripping
get my gloves and stuff
bombs.
over spring break when I'm home.
I'll be ripping bombs, dude. Were you a good hitter?
Yeah, I was. Honestly, growing up, when it came to sports, I was like a late bloomer. So
Mm-hmm.
like I was terrible when I was little. Like when I was in little league, I couldn't hit at all. I couldn't, catch, fly balls or anything. I could just catch ground balls and I could run.
Mm-hmm.
But as I got to the big diamond and as I got older, like I started to become more athletic and
Yeah.
like eventually like I was once I got to the big diamond, I became a good hitter and just all around player.
Yeah.
Became an outfielder once I moved to the big diamond, probably I don't know, 14 years old.
Yeah, that's when I quit. I was,
Really?
I was bad. Like people pity me and say I wasn't bad, but I was pretty bad. Like you know how like they'd have extra kids in the roster and someone would play 3 innings.
Yeah.
That was me. So I play the 3 innings and just go sit in the outfield. And I wasn't like awful. Like I'm at least like an athlete, so I could like handle myself, and that's
Yeah.
really all that mattered. But I was pretty bad, so I just stopped playing baseball. Especially once they were like, all right, yeah, so the park that you could barely hit it out of, or you could barely even reach the fence, we're gonna like double the size of that. I was like, I'm out. I don't need this sport anymore. I can barely even reach like that fence. Like I think I hit one out in like a practice once, maybe. But like all my friends were ripping like bombs. Like Nick DeSimone, he was a good baseball player too. I think he was the best player his senior year. I think he like got like maybe like an award or something.
Really?
He's a good athlete. And you wouldn't really know it, but he's really really good athlete, like freaky, sneaky athlete. But so yeah, you played football and baseball, right?
Yeah, those are the main two. I played like floor hockey at the boys club growing up until like it sounds funny. That was big though. Like in
Floor
my
hockey.
town,
Yeah,
like
I
all the
remember,
kids, all
dude.
the athletes played. That was actually really fun. It was just once a week, show up and play, no practice. That was a good time. I missed that honestly probably more than all the other sports.
I did
That
some
was fun.
like some kids on my street. We did some roller hockey for a little bit, throwing like rollerblades and just go to like we had a park. It was like a roller rink, like an ice rink. It was just like obviously like, for like outside, and you could go there. Like there was no restrictions on it, nothing. And no one ever plays fucking roller hockey, so it was always open. We just go down there. Someone had pads like for a goalie, and we'd all shoot in the same goalie. It was hilarious. It was fun. And sometimes it's those sports, like it's the little ones, like even these intramural leagues. I count that
Yeah,
too.
it's not that
Those can be the most
serious and
fun.
it's fun,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like obviously, like the best thing about high school sports is like that, like camaraderie you kind of build with like your friends and all that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you still got like group chats with your teams.
Honestly, I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I feel like the difference for me with baseball and football, I feel like with baseball, like always growing up, it's like a team game, but it's an individual team game. So I was
That's true.
kind of like, it's not like you don't work together the way you would in, say, football.
Yeah.
So I kind of just stuck to myself and I was just there to play.
Yeah.
And then with football, because, like, you're working together, maybe running plays and stuff, it was definitely better for me.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it more that, like, it was a tighter team bond.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll talk to some of the kids sometimes.
Yeah.
But, there's no group chat or anything.
Yeah, we got some group chats from me and my teams. We got some. I think I have one for like. We have one where everyone that like we has like been in there from like years ago. So like there's guys in there that never played together, like because one would be from the year before they got there, and one would be like a freshman like the year I was there, or whatever. And we have like 6 years of players all within like one group chat.
It's kind of cool.
It is cool. It is cool. Like I don't know. I feel like it makes us a little special in that sense. Like I don't think that's very common. Like to have that. And like we talked it. Is it? Oh. Well.
Sounds good.
All right, people. We had technical difficulties for the first time ever. Really, I think this might be like 1 or 2 times that I've ever had something happen. Yeah. What were we talking about?
About like football and the teams and stuff.
Oh
like,
yeah,
group
yeah, 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 yeah.
chats.
Saying my team, yeah. I was saying
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. We still have my team together. I don't know, but I'm also very connected to my high school. I think because, like, think about my street. Like, you know how,
Yeah,
like,
you
me and my
guys-
roommates are like,
yeah.
like we're all still here. Do you have anybody from your high school here? Or no.
I don't think so. I
Yeah.
mean, from my town in general, there's only probably maybe 2 other people that go here that I know of.
How many were in your graduating class? And where are you
Uh,
from, actually? What
I'm
city?
from
Taunton?
Taunton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go to Taunton High School though, so I'm not sure
Okay.
how many people went there. I went to a trade school that was in my town that was
Gotcha.
regional school. Um, but nobody that went there goes here that I know of.
Do you know how many were in your class?
Nah, it's been too long.
Yeah.
Less than the public high school for sure though.
Yeah, I can
It was a
imagine.
smaller school.
That's what happens. I talked to plenty of people that have like really small classes, and I'm just like, and obviously like I was from Medford. I went to Medford High School, which is like a public high school. So there's like plenty of kids. I don't even know what the number is. Probably like I don't want to give a bad number. Probably, let's just say 500. I have no idea if that's true, but that's like a lot of kids to pick from. There's probably like 20 of them here. No joke. So that's like a lot of people, and I'm living with 3 of them. Like 2 are down the street, a couple are all over the place, and then some I don't even talk to that are here. I don't know, but I feel like it just kind of kept me somewhat attached to the city in some ways, whereas you kind of like get to really fully become like a UMass Lowell student.
Yeah, for me, there's barely anybody that goes here that I know of that lives back near me. Everyone seems to be living up north of Boston or in the Boston area. Boston area.
Yeah.
So, it sucks in a way because we'll say winter break or summer break. All
Spring break even.
Yeah, all my friends that go here, they don't live near me. So,
yeah.
That sucks a little bit, but
yeah,
nothing you can really do about it.
So, what would you say you feel about the college experience?
I transferred here from a community college, so I didn't really have that my first 2 years. My
Yeah.
third year here, I didn't really go out at all. I just wasn't something I did back then. I do now, obviously.
Yeah, I'd be seeing you out.
Yeah, I've seen you too.
I'll be like, hey, David.
It's been fun,
You seem like you're having fun.
Yeah, for me, we'll all, we'll drink sometimes a bit, but I feel like, to me, it's more than that. To me, it's making the memories with everybody.
Yeah.
And just, you have a good night or day, whatever it is you're doing at that point that you look back on, maybe a few weeks later, a few months later, or maybe 10 years from now, and you're just I had a good time, it was a good group of people.
That's nice, with. That's really nice. Just being able to look back and say, I had fun,
Yeah,
that's also, it's very important. You should write a book, David.
I don't know.
You like to read and write?
I don't like to read or write. I always was pretty good with both, if I had to, but it's not something that I would willingly want to do.
Yeah, I hate reading, but
I'll tell you what I do like to do, and I feel like this is everybody. If I have to write about myself, I enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
Those are the best papers in my eyes. Sounds a little bit, cocky.
Hey, you're just saying what everyone else is thinking.
Yeah, probably. I've heard other people
you're all
say
thinking
it too.
You're all thinking.
I don't like to do the research. I like to just, have that knowledge already, and
yeah,
it's just so much easier.
I like creative writing too. I like because it is in a way about anything that's creative is coming from your own mind. So in a way, it's not about you, but it's about what you think.
Yeah,
so that's a little easier. Anything that you don't have to do the research for. Research sucks. Writing itself, putting together, I like the idea of putting together, even if it's just argumentative writing. If I have the information all in front of me, if someone can give it to me, I'll organize an argument out, no problem. I love to really structure something, and I like when shit flows into each other. I like a good story. I love movies. I just like shit like that. I don't know. Are you a big movie guy?
Honestly, not really.
Music, TV, entertainment?
Music, yeah. I don't watch TV too much, which surprises a lot of people when they find that out. There's a few shows I'll watch.
Euphoria?
I've never seen that yet.
You gotta watch Euphoria. You'd love it.
I like watching, shows and movies sometimes, though.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm usually doing things, or, maybe there's just nothing on.
What do you listen to for music?
I listen to a variety of things. I listen to pretty much anything. Kind of depends on my mood and what I'm doing.
So I was actually having this conversation earlier, and it's kind of been interesting to me recently. I wonder what people do. So do you listen to music based on the mood you're in, or do you listen to music and it puts you in the mood?
Probably a little bit of both, but probably the mood I'm in will determine, you know, what I listen to. Like I might be in the mood to listen to country at one point, and then, you know, rap at another point. But like definitely the music I listen to could definitely affect my mood.
Yeah.
Like if I throw on some, like, you know, sad heartbreak
Some
songs,
Marvin's
like
Room.
I'm gonna be feeling
You
like,
put on some
damn,
Marvin's
I'm
Room.
gonna feel like
Cups of
down.
rose, you know, bitches in my old phone.
But if
You
it's
start hearing that.
Yeah, but if it's something more like, you know, upbeat, like you know, like me and Andrew will listen to, like, well, at least not this semester, but last semester we'd throw on Queen sometimes, and it's like,
We
you know,
love Queen.
up tempo, and
Love
like,
some Queen.
You're feeling good after.
Yeah, so I definitely I was wondering because I think I'm irrelevant like when this question gets asked. Like I've like thought I tried to think of it out myself. I'm like, all right, what do I do? But I don't know. I listen to music like David all day. As long as there's someone not speaking to me, music is playing. Sometimes
I
even in
listen to
the
it a lot,
background.
too.
So there's no. So I have like all my songs in my library, like 4,000, 5,000 of them, whatever. I just shuffle them, and I'll skip some, but sometimes I just like to have it as like backgrounds. But I don't really have the time to like all day be clicking the song that I want to hear emotionally. And I think if I let it determine my emotions, I'd be a fucking seesaw all day because I'm always listening to music. So I'm kind of like absentee from this question entirely because I just play whatever is playing. So it was interesting to me. I'm just wondering, like, because some people tell me they'll just play stuff, like they'll play sad music wanting to be sad.
I mean, well, I don't like to be sad, so
Yeah, but
sometimes maybe it comes on or something, like someone else plays it. Sometimes, it might, affect my mood. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on the day.
I guess it affects my mood more at like a party. If I hear a really good party song, if I hear like the Macarena or something, I'm just like, oh, it's the Macarena. It's like nostalgia, It just kind of hits me. I'm like, oh shit, like I love this song, or like something else like that. I think that's where more it hits me, like in social settings, but by myself.
Like I don't think you were there, but last Friday we were out, and there was a song by Trippie Redd that came on. I don't know what the song was, I forget, but
Mac 10.
Like, nah, I don't know what it was, but.
Do you know how it
like,
goes? You want
like,
to sing for us, David?
What?
Do you know how it goes? Do you want to sing for us?
No, I can't remember. But like, it's not usually something I hear like out at a party, Trippie Redd. So when I did hear it, I was like, oh shit, like.
Maybe like taking a walk or something. I'm wondering what song it is. But yeah, like when you hear something that's like.
Like I feel like it's always the same songs, but it was different, so it stood out.
Yeah, I usually have the aux when we're here because it's my speaker and I'm sober, so I can control the music easily. And usually, so I don't have to pay attention too much, I make a playlist. I have a playlist. It's like 200 songs now. I just shuffle it and let it fly. But it does get repetitive. But when you hear those few songs, like even some that are like guaranteed by the internet, some like those like classic ones everyone's singing, like those are fun too. Yeah. And like sometimes here we play like what's it called, like Dirty Water, like those Red Sox song, or Sweet Caroline too. Like those are fun.
Yeah,
those
and
are
everyone
fun.
Gets in on it, starts singing it.
Nothing quite like that. That's like the college experience. I feel like if I were to sum it up, like the social aspect, like the party life, those are the moments you're looking for. If you're like in a room with probably 3 people you're really comfortable with, about 10 people you know, about 20 people you don't, and you're all just singing, you don't care who to or whatever. That's like the fun in it. You're just kind of making like the memories you're saying. Like it's really, really cool. But yeah, so David, honestly, with the technical difficulties we had, I'm gonna have to edit that. But I am working on getting these a little bit shorter, sadly. So how long do you think we've been going for?
45 minutes?
55 minutes. It's been an hour. And but yeah, I think that I do want to try working on segmenting them. Like I think I can segment this a little bit. This was a little more free flowing. I'm still trying new things. As my podcast's been around for a year now, I want to try some new shit. So I want to see how this goes with the different sections, but also still very like free. I like how you were able to say that like you still want it to be like very natural, because I think that'll help me out in the long run. But yeah, what was your experience on the DOD-Cast? What was the DOD-Cast like?
It was very chill. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it like about a week ago. Not like I would talk to Andrew about it because he's been on it.
Former guest Andrew Avila.
He thought I was like thinking about it a little too deeply, and I was like, no, bro. Like I'm just thinking of ideas. Like one day we're walking to the dining hall, and I was like, yeah, like I thought, you know, we could talk about golf or something.
We did talk about
And
golf.
he's like, got super serious. He's like, bro, it's just a podcast. You can't go into it thinking like a certain way. And I was like, bro, no, I'm just thinking of ideas. Like, it's all good. But yeah, it was very chill.
Yeah, it's just a good time. You just get to come in, and even if like you're thinking about golf. One time, I had somebody on, and the whole week I was thinking, I'm gonna talk about this with them. I'm making sure I talk about this. We talked for about an hour and 45 minutes, never brought it up. But then golf, it's not like you just like brought it up. Like it just comes up naturally. You find the common ground when you have conversations with people. That's like something I've learned. Like when you're talking to someone, especially if like we're like in a way, I'm kind of forcing you to talk to me. It's kind of what's happening. Like
Think so?
Kinda.
I mean, I feel like I told you I'd want to come on.
I mean, you commit to it. It's not like you're like, it's not forcing you in a bad way. It's like we have to talk. There's
I like talking. A lot of people that know me, they know I usually never shut up for the most part.
I'm the worst.
Especially if I'm like around people that like I'm pretty comfortable with. Like I won't shut up sometimes, and they'll be like, "All right, dude, like shut up."
I wish my friends were nice enough to say shut up to me.
Well,
but
honestly,
they're
I don't
almost
think they
too
do.
nice.
I think I was exaggerating a little, but like I know like that they know like I don't shut up sometimes.
Us people that talk too much, we here a little PSA for everybody out there. If you have a friend that talks too much, you can vouch for me. We might know it now, like out of the situation. When we're talking too much, we have no idea. Like, do you realize when you're and maybe there's like a certain point it hits you, but do you realize you're ever talking too much, or do you realize it later?
I feel like I'm pretty aware, so I feel like sometimes I will, and I just will be like, I don't care. Like I want to talk, I'm gonna talk. And then, maybe sometimes I'm telling a story, and, like, I've had a few people tell me that, like, all right, like, you get into, like, every detail, so it, like, it just keeps going, and it's long.
Yeah.
So, like, I probably didn't realize that on my own until a few people said it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't think it's too big of a deal.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Like, I'm just telling the story how I want to tell it.
But if you have a friend out there, only your friends, don't say this to random people because that's rude. But if you have a friend out there and they're like me and David, and they like to speak, they might not know they're speaking too much, and we don't mind truncating a story a little bit if it means you'll enjoy it more. So if you have a friend out there that's just talking blah, 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 like your boy, just tell him. We said in the very start, first thing we said, you like people being straight with you. You might not feel great, but you'd rather learn and become a better person and figure things out than to be lied to.
If they, tell me something that's not true, like, it's not going to help me. Like,
Yep.
I 100%, like, I appreciate when someone's honest with me and, tells me something straight up. Maybe if I do something wrong, they tell me. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, now I understand, where your head was at, and I can learn from it and, hopefully change and improve myself on it and, hopefully don't do it again,
David, you're very inspirational. You know that? I didn't think I'd be walking away from this with a lot of inspiration, but I feel good about like my day now. Like I don't know. I feel like this is gonna do well. I'm excited. But yeah, I want to thank you very much for coming on, good sir.
Thank you for having me.
The traditional handshake, and bye bye everybody.